Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Today is Thursday. Today is the 17th day of December. It is National Maple Syrup Day, which is yummy stuff, by the way.
It is.
Love me some maple syrup. It's also Wright Brothers Day. This is the day that they took off and flew their airplane at Kitty Hawk.
That's a pretty big deal.
And it's National Regifting Day. So, you know.
Shouldn't that be after Christmas?
You'd think so. But I think it's because people go through and go, okay, I've got this from last year.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I haven't used it. So who did I get it from? Because I can't give it to them.
Give it to them.
Although I talked to somebody who had a really funny story about exactly that. They were given something that was given to them by that same person. So they gave it back to the same person. Whatever I'm trying to say.
It's embarrassing.
You know what I'm trying to say? Because I don't know what I'm trying to say. Hey, it's also a Thursday, which means we have Dear John Letters. Yeah, we got a good one this week from Super Protective Mama. And I had this posted all week long on our Facebook page. I posted it Monday because I got this one early. You can chime in with your advice, and you can read other advice there at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. An internal survey found that 55% of New York City's firefighters will refuse to take the COVID-19 vaccine when it becomes available to them. So over half are saying, yeah, I'm not going to take it. Now, online I was reading some people saying, well, I think that's because they're being brave and they're saying, you know what, I don't need it, give it to somebody who needs it more. But there's others going, no, they're not taking it because they're afraid of what it is. So I don't know which way you're going to interpret that, but I'm not interpreting it either way. I'm just saying, there it is. And Target, the store, says, while the Target parking lot won't be as busy this year, there will certainly be days where finding a good spot is not easy, which means an uptick in parking stalkers. You know what a parking stalker is?
Is that somebody who sits behind you and waits until you move?
People who follow you to your car in hopes of snagging your space. The four main parking space strategy identified as search and destroy, drivers who cruise the aisles looking for space. The other one, lie in wait, drivers who position themselves at the end of an aisle waiting for an opening. Then the see it, take it, a driver who simply takes the first pace they see. And then the stalker, which we talked about. So there you go. Which one are you? I'm the drop Heidi at the door and wait in the car somewhere else.
But if you have to park...
I'm a see it, take it. I just go wherever. I park and get the heck out of there.
Yeah.
I don't do the whole...
I mean, if I see somebody's reverse lights on, they're getting ready to back out, I'll wait.
Yeah, I'll let them get out because they want out anyway. And I'm like, I'll take that.
And then I'll take their spot. But
that's still...
No, I don't typically...
Still more of a see it, take it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
This your surveys and studies and such. Brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. A Florida man sentenced to 3 months in federal prison for firing off a flare gun from a boat when he was drunk. Here's what happened. It prompted a search and rescue mission. The Coast Guard came in, turned into a really big deal. According to a release from the U.S. Attorney's Office, 32-year-old Justin Patrick Obert of Fort Myers, Florida, was sentenced, including 3 years of supervised release for communicating a false distress message to the Coast Guard.
Oh my gosh.
He gets to pay $13,414 to the Coast Guard for the operation. The sentencing comes after his guilty plea back in August. He was released. The release said on September 9th of last year, he drunkenly discharged 2 red distress flares from a vessel, triggering an emergency search and rescue operation. Says here that it included the United States Coast Guard, Fort Myers Beach and Fire Rescue, and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. So a big honking deal.
Was he trying to
No,
trigger?
he was drunk and being silly, and he shot the thing off, and then they went out and found out that he's not in trouble. He's just drunk.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by channelsurfertv.com. I have for you the top grossing Christmas movies of all time.
Top grossing.
Yeah, the best gross, like the best as far as money coming in through the box office. We're going to start at number 5, The Polar Express. Came out in 2004, made $313.5 million.
That's crazy.
Next, A Christmas Carol, the Jim Carrey animated film, 2009, $325.2 million. Number 3 on the list, another Jim Carrey movie, Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 2000, brought in $345.1 million. Number 2 on the list, Home Alone.
I was just going to say Home Alone. I'm sure that was one of the
$476
top.
million. That came out in 1990. And I got to tell you, the coolest thing about that is the fact that that movie almost didn't get made. It is such a fascinating story. There's a great story behind Home Alone and all that goes with it. But the number 1 top grossing Christmas movie of all time is another Grinch. It's the animated Grinch that came out in 2018. The worldwide box office total, $511 million. So that's a lot of dough. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by channelsurfertv.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of giftcardchallenge.org. Dial a Carol is back for the 60th season. Now, if you don't know what that is, Dial a Carol is a student-run holiday program at the University of Illinois. Every year, students at Snyder Hall, a university housing residence, host Dial a Carol. Started in December of 1960 by Betty Gordon, an office secretary, and the residents of Snyder Hall wanted to spread some holiday cheer around the campus. Anybody from anywhere could call a request line and get a Christmas carol sung to them. The Dial a Carol runs 24 hours a day for 7 days. So we're in the midst of it right now. Each year, the phone line gets more than 10,000 calls from all 50 states and dozens of countries. I've got the phone number in the show notes, by the way, if you want to call it.
So is that someone singing you a Christmas
you
carol
call
or it's music?
These students sing a Christmas carol to you.
Okay.
So I was going to call it on the air, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. And I was going to give the number out over the air, but I thought I'm not going to do that either because I just think that could turn into a bad deal. Coffee simply does not like to stay in place. Restaurant servers soon learn to pour coffee at the table, and then, instead of carrying the coffee to the table, it says if they do, they spill most of it. Beer, however, presents no such challenge. Servers can maneuver through crowds while carrying fully loaded trays of beer.
Isn't that interesting?
From the tap filled to the top without spilling. Why is that? Well, it has a lot to do with, according to this, foam. Solid foam reduces noise by absorbing sound waves. Liquid foam does the same for motion. Researchers discovered the foam on the beer performed in controlled lab experiments on coffee and beer. They used high-speed cameras to discover that the waves of motion that rocked through the surface of coffee poured over the top, but the waves of beer did not.
That is fascinating.
The more foam present, they observed, the more energy was absorbed and the less sloshing occurred. So if you ever wondered why they pour your coffee at the table, but your beer across the way at the bar, now maybe you know. And this is such a bizarre story. Thanks to climate change and zombies, it's more important than ever to have a disaster preparedness kit, apparently.
Oh,
lucky for us, Amazon has us covered.
Of course they do.
For just under $200 for a family of 4 and a dog, you can have this is what it's called, Emergency Zone Urban Survival 72-Hour Bug Out Go Bag Survival Kit. It's got a huge backpack that is a, quote, Federal Emergency Management Agency compliant bag. There's food and water, an emergency blanket, weather protection, medical supplies, and more. And as much as I am kind of poking fun at this a little bit, at the end of the day,
It's not a bad idea to have an
it's
emergency
probably
bag.
not.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know that it's because of
Not because
zombies.
of zombies, but it's not a bad idea to have an emergency bag.
Yeah, so I've got a link to it if you're interested. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
And it's time right now for Dear John Letters.
Dear John. Dear John.
All right, this letter got posted Monday, and there have been some folks chiming in with some advice. So if you would like to chime in with advice, you can do that as well at facebook.com/JohnandHeidiShow. And now we're going to dive right in with the Dear John letter. Dear John, my son's grandmother recently reached out to see if she can reconnect with my son. She was not a good mother to my ex-husband. She helped him mess up his life to the point that he's been in and out of prison. And right after we got married, she disowned him. Now he's in prison again, and her husband recently passed away, and she wants to reconnect with her grandson. We have a good life. My wonderful husband has adopted my son, and he would have no idea who this woman is. He's only 4, and I'm not ready to have that conversation with him about any of this. But I don't think she would be a good influence no matter what. I thought about this, and we prayed on it, and we've decided to tell her we don't think it's a good idea. But now I feel bad because she's all alone. Did I make the right decision? Should I call her and set up a supervised visit? Signed, Super Protective Mama. First thing I'm going to do is hand the reins over to my beautiful bride because she is a very protective mama. Mm-hmm. And what would you say in this particular situation?
Absolutely not. No way. It would be different if this person had been involved in your child's life from the very beginning and was a doting, wonderful, loving grandmother, and then you split up with your ex.
Yeah.
And they still wanted to remain involved through this entire process.
Yeah.
That's a different story. But somebody who your child has not even seen,
that would be the weird part.
Basically in that child's entire life, to all of a sudden at age 4, show up and want to swoop in and be this grandmother. No. Nope.
And that's where, again, I'm kind of leaning on the same side as Heidi here, where I'm thinking it would be really odd. And if you're at a point right now where you're saying, I'm not really ready to have that discussion. You know, maybe when he's a little bit older, I can talk to him about here's this and here's how that works. But part of me wonders about the motives of the grandma.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Because if she wanted nothing to do with this kid his entire life, and now all of a sudden he's 4.
Yep.
And just out of nowhere, she's going, hey, I'd like to meet him.
Yeah, there's something.
He's 4 years old. That's not when you meet your grandkid. So, I don't know. There's just something weird going on there. And again, I feel sad, just like she's saying. She's going, where is it on here? Now I feel bad because she's all alone. Did I make the right decision? Should I call her and set up a supervised visit? I would say if there's any visit whatsoever, it would have to be supervised. Because you don't want some Amber Alert situation because you have no clue what's going on in this person's life. You don't really know her.
No.
So wouldn't that be a weird thing too?
I just think that right now you're doing well, it sounds like, and your priorities should be your husband and your child and not some mother-in-law from forever ago that hasn't been involved at all. Yeah.
So, and here's the thing I got to say. In our relationship, we have a bit of a parallel here. Mm-hmm. When I met Heidi 21 years ago, how weird is that?
Crazy?
She had a little boy, and when we got married, I adopted that little boy. And I remember how awkward I felt because his grandmother, even though my son's dad was not involved in the situation at all, he was just never around, his mother was.
Right.
And I remember when we first did this, I was thinking, oh, this lady's going to hate me, and this is going to be so awkward. And I remember the first time she came over after I adopted Troy, and I've never referred to him as my stepson. And it confuses some people because I'll say I've got a 24-year-old son, and then we'll say we've been married for 21 years, and they're like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up. Well, he may be officially a stepson, but he's my son. He's not a stepson. He is my son. And I remember the first time she came over after that, it was so awkward for me until she said, I just want to say thank you. And I said, oh, for what? And she said, thank you for being the father my son couldn't be.
See, and that's a completely different situation.
It was.
Troy had a wonderful grandmother who was involved.
And she was involved from the
very beginning.
They had a great relationship. So that's the part
and she's still involved to this day. Our son's 24, and she's still
But that's the part that kind of tugs
at
at my heartstrings because I remember that. But every situation is different. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll bet you probably have an opinion on this. You are welcome to give your opinion as well. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And that's also where you'd go if you'd like to submit a letter as well. Same place. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
More than anything else, women carry money, including credit cards and checkbooks in their purses. The next most popular item? Gum and mints, then tissue and lip balm, and then pain reliever. You know what was not on the list of the most popular items carried in a purse for women?
A gun?
No, that wasn't on the list either,
Oh.
but phones. Everybody would have assumed phones would be on the list, but apparently women do not carry their phone in their purse. They usually have it in their hand.
Oh, I carry my phone in my purse.
Well, see, you're a weirdo.
Well,
I'm just saying, according to this list, that means that you are quite weird.
Alrighty.
That is today's fun fact. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline Russia. Russia has told their citizens they cannot drink alcohol for 2 months after they get the COVID-19 vaccine. So they're saying once you get the shot for vaccines, that's the last shot you're going to have for 2 months.
Is that because alcohol has a negative effect on the shot?
Could be, or maybe they're just running low on booze. I'm not really sure what the reason, but they're being told that. So now there are people in Russia that are saying, well, I'm not going to get the vaccine.
I'm not getting the vaccine then if I can't have booze.
Guys got to have priorities, But I do have a link to the story. Maybe they have more details in there. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A woman was kicked off Frontier Airlines flight after cursing at a staffer and refusing to wear a mask. There's a video of the incident unfolding December the 3rd. Cincinnati to Tampa. Ma'am, you're going to have to wear your mask on the entire flight, an airline worker can be heard saying. If you're unable to do so, you'll be removed from the flight. And then she says, thanks. And I'm not going to say what she says on the rest of that line, but it wasn't polite. An officer is later seen gathering the woman's luggage and escorting her from the plane, prompting applause from all of the other passengers. Face coverings are required throughout travelers' journeys when flying with Frontier, a company spokesperson said in a statement. We have flown a couple of times, and that is the way it is on not just Frontier, but we've flown with other airlines as well, and that's just the way it is. So you do it or you don't. If you don't, you just don't get to fly.
You don't get to fly.
So, and again, it's a privately owned
company. And
Yeah,
they can...
and a privately owned plane. If you want to fly somewhere in a private jet, you can do whatever you want to do. But if you're flying with them, you do what they want. Otherwise, you just don't go.
That's
Simple
right.
rules. I've got a link to the story, by the way. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your Moment of Duh, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. A mall Santa dropped the hammer on a little boy who asked for a Nerf gun for Christmas, telling the bawling kid that he wouldn't bring him the toy. According to a post by the boy's mother, the Kris Kringle caught on video making the child cry. The boy said he wanted a Nerf gun, but Santa said, no guns. When the kid's mom, who was standing nearby, piped in and said he just wants a Nerf gun, the not-so-jolly St. Nick said, no, not even a Nerf gun. So the unmoved Father Christmas says, if your dad wants to get you one, that's fine, but I can't bring it to you. The Santa Claus then said he turned the kid down. Kid burst into tears, turned into a big event. The mom then bent down and hugged the little kid. And people have not been very nice to that Santa online.
No,
but the good news is
his job.
The people who run the mall did connect with that mom, and they did bring the kid a Nerf gun. So he got the Nerf gun. And I think that particular mall Santa found a different gig for the rest of the season.
Probably doesn't have that job anymore.
Yeah, that did not land well. We'll put it that way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. At this point in the program, I read a little headline, and my beautiful bride Heidi has to guess, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick her and amuse me? Are you ready?
I am ready.
Fake news or Florida? A woman dressed as a turkey arrested for shoplifting. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
Yeah. I remember reading this.
Yeah.
I don't know why she was dressed as a turkey, but, you know, if you're going to go shoplifting, maybe try to be more incognito.
Yeah, you kind of want to blend. If
you don't want to stand out.
Yeah.
Just a little tip there from John and Heidi. This is Fake News or Florida on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of giftcardchallenge.org. And here's the cool thing. You, if you'd like, can spread your own good news, and you can get all the details on how you can do that through that website. Once again, it is giftcardchallenge.org. This is such a cool story. Headline: Florida man pays utility bills for 114 families who are at risk of having their utilities shut off. A Florida businessman by the name of Michael Esmond is once again pulled a really cool stunt. He's paid the utility bills for a bunch of families who were at risk of losing their utilities during the holidays. Last year, he did this for 36 households.
I want to say that we read this last year, too.
Gulf Breeze communities where he did it. This year, he decided to up the ante because he knew there were a lot of people who've been home because of COVID. So he donated $7,615 to pay the utility bills for 114 households. Joanne Oliver, the city's utility bill supervisor, said the holiday cards notifying the residents were mailed out this week. Esmond is the owner of Gulf Breeze Pools and Spas, and he said he had a good year in 2020, and he wanted to share what he had with people who need it. He said, I've been down on my luck, much like the people are today, where I've had trouble paying bills and raising 3 daughters. The gas company shut off the gas when we didn't have any heat. He said that's probably one of the biggest motivators for me because I've been there. I think that's really cool that he's doing that.
Beautiful.
And think about how many people that are doing okay these days have been through tough spots. And if you're in a position where you can say, hey, I'm going to pay it forward and I'm going to do something really nice for the fellow man, that is a great, great thing to do. And just a cool story. So I love that. And that's why I wanted to share that for today's good news.
I love that too.
Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.